Hello, my name is Yusuf Àlàbí Balógun, PK Gemini. I'm a poet and a storyteller, and I've been doing this professionally for a space of over 9 years. What draws me to the craft and the artistry is basically from a place of telling the stories of the marginalized people and the people below the pyramid. I do exclusively Yoruba poetry because I believe that when you want to tell the stories and realities of the people at the grassroots, you have to tell it in a language that is relatable to them, that can capture their nuances and deliver their realities raw without leaving anything behind. I knew I owed myself the duty of expression before impression, and by extension I feel like every artist has that duty of social responsibility to tell socially conscious stories that not only entertains people but educates. So I wanted to be that divergent artist who was not just out there to thrill people, but to tell them the uncomfortable stories that people wouldn't even go near on a normal day. I grew up in the ghetto of Ijora, and when you still go to that environment today, you still see school children who actually stay in that environment, who still have to use rags in place of menstrual pads because they do not have access to financial resources. People just want to eat. And then, Ijora is very notorious for having a lot of hoodlums, for having a lot of street urchins. But behind these guys are dreams that have wasted, probably because they did not have access to good education right from time, probably because they didn't have proximity to good parenting because their parents were equally trying to survive. Then we have a generational chain of trauma, people repeating history because they do not even have the privilege to learn from it. I had to tell these stories, bring it back to them. I feel like it's very uncomfortable to stare at the truth. It can be anguishing, but if you can, brave up to actually stare at it, you discover that yes, maybe we can walk towards a revolution, maybe we can walk towards a new dawn. All of these realities, all of this plight that does not make it into the newspaper, what we see are the stories. Oh, a riot broke out today. No one tells the stories of the perpetrators. No one tells the stories of where these people are coming from. So I knew I owed myself, as much as that society, that much duty. If we want to create a sane, holistic environment that not only works for us even, but for the boys, the girls, who by extension grew up to be adults. Being a reader on the Vweta Chadwick Poetry Prize has foremostly afforded me access to raw stories. We live in a time where feminist conversation is on the rise, and then there are women who have valid opinions, by the way, that men should not call themselves feminists, but they can call themselves allies, because you cannot tell the story of another person well if you are not putting on the shoe. So being a reader on this particular poetry prize, knowing that the prize itself sets its spotlight on women and stories that are immediate to them, has given me the opportunity, not just as a poet, but as a human, to connect with their story unfiltered. They are not trying to be sublime with it. They are not encoding the heaviness. They are putting it out as raw as it can be. What comes first and what touches my innermost is that even when the prize is over, these stories still come back to remind me that, oh, there are actually girls, there are actually women still out there going through the same realities. And even when one is out of the chain, there are still like 99 other women out there struggling with the chain. So the poetry prize for me, if it serves so much as a reminder of this plight for me, then how much more can it be to the participants who are dropping their heartfelt? It's not fictional. It is something they are experienced. It's something they have seen their female friends, their mothers experience, and they are relating it. I feel I'm honored to even be considered worthy of being a reader, of getting, the ringside view to these stories. We are in an era where people are trying so hard to tell stories relatable to the female plight, to the female realities. And while, to be very honest, some are doing it from an ideal and realistic point of view. Some are genuinely doing it for clickbait. I feel that what Project ASHA stands for and what it has been continuously doing, not just with this prize, but other associated project before and after this prize brings to fore these realities, and it's not just pushing the anguish back to people's faces, but it's providing solution, which I think is actually very uncommon. So it's not enough opening a wound if you don't know how to cover it. You know, Project ASHA has been continuously stirring necessary conversations through their project, through this prize, to not only remind people that women matters and their voices deserves to be amplified. The only way we can put a lasting stop to issues of femicide, FGM, poverty, period poverty, and all of that is through stirring these conversations, putting it in rooms that matters, putting people who feel that ideally they do not have enough voices to get into rooms where there are people waiting to hear them. And I think that is one bridge that Project ASHA has been able to cross absolutely well with this prize. And it is in this light and, you know, with this in mind that I urge everyone who is able to attend the Vweta Chadwick Poetry Prize event happening in Abuja. And beyond attending also, if you call yourself a creative, particularly as a woman, I feel like it does not even matter the society you stay in or the society you are born into. The harsh reality is facing women. The marginalization is not bound by tribe. Come around for the poetry event itself in Abuja. You get to network, you get to experience these stories live, you get to be part of a necessary conversation, and who knows, maybe creating a safer community, a safer world for women can begin with these little steps from myself and you.